Hey, I'm Josh.
And I'm Layla.
And this is Jayla in the Morning. So today we're going to talk about checking in with your spouse.
Yeah, especially when you feel like something's a little bit off.
Right. Like we had something off recently, and you allowed me to have the space to express my feelings.
Yeah.
And tell you the things that were bothering me, because as far as you knew, like, you
Things were fine.
Yeah, you were happy.
I was happy. Something to pay attention to. When your partner, your spouse, you can feel the energy shift, right? You can tell when somebody's maybe slamming a door a little bit harder than they normally would, or you can just feel that disconnect with your person. That is when it's important to pay attention, and we're going to share with you a few steps that you can do to kind of restore balance or get back in unity.
Yeah, and I think I wear mine on my face often, right? You might see a scowl. A scowl.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell when his panties are in a bunch.
Oh, man.
Oops. Where things are off. Sorry, honey.
No panties over on this side. Only on that.
Okay. So what do we do? What do they do when something's off with their partner?
I would say to recognize it, one, and to not use any kind of you language.
Blaming language.
Right. Don't say something like, "You look like you're pissed off."
Right.
You're looking angry. What's going on?
Right. So I think that's a great point to acknowledge it, and then when you see that, that's the signal to stop, to pause for a minute. To pause, like the story in your own brain, especially if you're one that's not feeling off and you're the one that's observing the energy change, so that you can actually offer your partner a safe space to share what's really going on. Maybe something got buried, or maybe they might have been frustrated last night or 2 days ago, or 3 days ago.
Like you said before too, when we were talking about this, is that it compounds. So yeah, it was a few days ago for me, and then something similar last night, and it compounded to where, like, now I'm doubly upset.
Yeah. I think, okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, by listening to Josh and what was compounding inside of him, when I'm thinking like everything's fine, yay, let's just keep going, then we had to pause and really listen to like what was going on. But I think, like he had mentioned, to not use blaming language, just to listen and just say, what's going on with that? What else is happening? And just quietly pause anything inside my own brain that's like, I want to fix this. I want to come up with a plan. I want to not have to experience this again. And just pause all the things going on in the back of my mind to just listen.
Right.
And hear what happened. Where did that frustration originate? And then what happened after that? Because the fear is what was crippling Josh in the moment. And his old experience was making the fear, false evidence appearing real, seem like our marriage was ending, or anyway, the fear is just kind of creepy and it's a liar. But as he talked about, the frustration had safe space where I just had to hold my tongue, then those levels, that layers of frustration were able to be unpacked.
Yeah, and I think that's the really important part as the listener, to hold your tongue. That you don't want to start getting defensive.
Right.
Which can easily happen if the sender is using blaming language, like rather than just owning how they feel.
Right.
So when I shared with you and you made it a safe space, you just listened. I use language like, this made me feel this way. And then I thought back to the other time, where the compounding part came in, where I was like, and then it was kind of similar to a few nights ago, and it just made me really feel this way. And then I got it all out, right? It took a while for me to get everything out, because it was like a whole bunch of thoughts that my brain was telling me, and that weren't true. And it's okay. It's okay that I was feeling a way that wasn't true. That she didn't have to rebut me in that moment, because that would have just been speaking to my defenses, right? Because
what does rebut mean?
To say that I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. Even though on a lot of the things that
You were wrong.
that I was feeling, I was wrong. But it was,
But I just listened.
yeah, it was the thoughts
Right.
that I had in my head and
That were
feelings.
getting buried.
Right. I had to get them out. And even though they were wrong, I needed to get them out so that you could gently remind me that, that you do care, that, you do make time for me.
Yeah.
And, so on. Whatever the thing might be in your relationship that you're feeling, it might not be intended by your spouse. I think majority of the time it isn't.
I had a thought come to me that talking in these situations, when you notice your partner's off, talking is dangerous, but listening is healing.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so the deep listening where you're not getting offended by what your spouse is saying, you realize that this is their feelings that they're expressing, their thoughts, and they don't have to be true, but you can just accept that this is the way that they're feeling and thinking, and then you allow that response later after your spouse has got everything out to respond with the gentle correction that
Right.
with affirming words, right?
Absolutely.
I approve of you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you shared that with me.
Yeah.
And I want to make changes so that I can avoid having you feel this way again.
And I think just an encouragement of hope as we close, that when I was listening to Josh, I could visibly see him start to relax. I could see the fear dissipate, anything that was causing him that frustration. As he had a safe place to share it, you could see his whole demeanor was changing. So the key here is listening. When you noticed, it's really a gift to even be enough out of your own world to notice when your spouse is off and check in with them and give them a space to listen to what's on their heart, because then those frustrations can dissolve. You can be united again and actually experience unity in stretching into helping meet your partner's needs in a healthy way so that you both can be in balance and have joy together.
Right. So when you see that, check in as soon as possible. Don't let the frustration compound over weeks or days even. Check in as soon as you can and let your partner express who they are and how they're feeling so that you guys can move on and continue with a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And
we'll see you next week
yeah.
for Jayla in the morning.
See ya.